Hey guys, I'm joined by World's Strongest Man finalist. He made the podium this year, Mr. JF Caron, first time on the podium since Tom McGee, I believe, from Canada.
Yes, since Dominic Filiu,
Oh, Dominic
2005.
Filiu, 2005, he was third as well. Or second,
Yeah,
third.
third.
Yeah. How's things?
It's a very happy man in
I
front
bet.
of you now, Laurence. Very happy about the competition.
Oh, you've been so close to that podium so many times now. It's
Yeah,
obviously, I know you want. Obviously, everyone wants to win, but it must feel good to finally get onto the podium.
yes, of course. I was close to the winner, so I feel it. But I make a little mistake. I passed out on the third log of the medley, and I lose my chance there. But I prefer always looking forward than backward.
Sure.
And still I'm very happy about the result. It was very close until the end, very close battle, and I feel something like I accomplished the biggest goal of my career.
I'm sure you do. I mean, it was exciting for us trying to find out what was going on back home. Hearing little results here and there and checking on the internet to see what was happening. Because I think this year was probably the most open contest in a long, long time, without the likes of Thor or Martins and Kiliashkovsky. It was a really hard one to predict. And I said before, and I thought you had a great chance of winning. And you were doing fantastic. Like when I watched you or saw the results coming in from the heats, you just looked like you were breezing it. Did you feel like you're in the best shape you've ever been?
Yes, of course, but I think many athletes was in the best shape
Yeah.
because nobody compete since March and maybe more for a certain guy, and it's what I thinking when I go. I must to be in really really good shape and prepare because
Yeah.
everybody will be, and it's what happened. I see many good performance there, and a lot of guys impress me a lot.
Do you think the fact that we haven't been able to compete all year was a big factor for that? I mean, usually, how many competitions do you normally do a year?
Minimum 20.
Yeah. So your body is battered by the time you get there. I mean, I remember Novikov last year. He was literally competing almost every weekend,
Yeah, he
and
said to me 43 contests.
43 contests.
Yes.
Wow. I've done about 25, I think, one year. That was terrible.
Yeah,
43 is
but
just insane.
you remember in the Arnold, Alexei looked tired,
Yeah.
and not at the best of him. But it was totally different for World's Strongest Man. He was really good prepared and 100% shape. And
Well,
he deserved to win, man. He was the best man on site.
I think so. I mean, we can always you can always say ifs and buts, and I think looking at your performance, you had one event that let you down.
Yeah.
The log medley. I thought looking at the people that were in the final, maybe you could have scored, not too bad. Your pressing's come on over the last few years. You're a decent presser, and there was no. It didn't appear to be any of like the monster pressers. There wasn't like a Zadrunas or a Luke or even like a Kiliashkovsky. I know Graham Hicks made the final, but he got injured straight away. So it was quite a close standard of pressers, I thought. And just was there anything that went wrong, or you just weren't strong enough on it?
Yeah, I just like passed out on the third and I miss and I need to drop and clean it again and finally did the lift, but it cost me too many points because everybody was very close in this log ladder. What's the problem? Now the level is, I think, higher than
I agree.
before.
I agree.
And the difference between the first and the last place is very close. Then just one mistake, you're fucked.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you see the first event was Enville and Yoke. I think less than 10 seconds between first and last place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
it's why just little mistake it can make a big difference at the end of the result. But a lot of new face was in final this year. It's what I predict before the contest. I think you have many new guy, and everybody was really good.
I could see that. Like, obviously, we've competed many times and we've been to Worlds many times. And normally at Worlds, there's a few guys that maybe shouldn't be there. This year, when I looked at the performances from every single heat, everyone was good.
Yes, of course, and it was very close, you know, in few groups. Maybe my group was maybe the easiest one because Erwin injured himself in the squat. Then he cannot fight because I think maybe Erwin was the best man to fight the stones in that group. But Bobby and Graham are not the best stone lifter of the group. But Graham make the final finally, and I'm really happy for him, you know. But unfortunately, he was injured on the first event. But he deserved to be there. He tried it so many times in the past to reach this RAW Strongman final, but you know it's harder and harder each year.
I really felt for Graham because obviously I'm good friends with Graham, and you know, to see he's enjoying strongman a lot more again. For a while, I think he sort of lost that love for it, and he's just come back. And it was great to see him in the final. There was some good events for him in the final as well.
Yes,
so it was sad to see. But as we know, you know, strongman, unfortunately, it's a tough sport, and we all get injuries sometimes. There seemed to be a fair few. Was it a few guys tearing their biceps this year?
Yeah. Then also Evan Singleton tear his bicep on the last event, the dumbbell medley in qualification, and also Shivlakov.
Yeah.
He tear something in abductor and maybe the bicep a little bit, but you know, for Misha, it's almost
That's nothing.
It's almost normal situation. But I was disappointed for him to not reach the final because I think Misha could be top 5 with those even in final because he was in really good shape.
Yeah,
really, really strong.
It's really weird. I mean, you know yourself, the group system is a very strange format. And it's sometimes harder just to get to the final than worry about the final because it's like doing 2 competitions in one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so different, but it's always harder to predict what happened. But you have all time to understand it's all about stones.
Yeah.
If you're not able to win your group, you have to be really good in stones.
Sure.
And you know, for Maxime example, it was a big challenge because he was really good in qualification. He did really great for his first World's Strongest Man, but you know, you have to fight Tom onto the stones. That it's not possible.
So did Maxime do all the stones?
No, he missed the last one.
Okay, but I think a lot of guys.
Good time. I just said to him, you have to go faster as you can.
Yeah. Don't
take your time. Then he missed the grip on the last one. But anyway, it was second best result of all athletes.
I was going to ask you that because I hadn't kind of focused on all the stones, but out of all of the guys, he was still the second fastest to 6 stones. And Tom, did Tom do all the stones?
Yes, in 30 something.
I mean, Tom's stone lifting is ridiculous.
Yes, I know. I go with him in final for the stone event, you know, and I did a really good run. I came third.
Yeah.
34 seconds was my time. And if you put this time last year with exactly the same setup, it was also third place.
Yeah.
And Tom did 35 last year.
Okay.
You know, but this year, 19 seconds.
Wow.
We never see that before with that weight. And I don't see his run because I have to lift. But when I put the 4th one, I heard something behind me. He have already finished. What the fuck happened? It's just so impressive. But I'm really happy for him. You know, he win the 2 last event in the final. I think Tom will be world champion one day for sure. If nothing happened wrong, he's so improved from last year. And just an amazing athlete to see competing.
I think it's going to be really exciting watching some of these youngsters over the next few years. I know, and I don't want to. I get accused a lot of saying, you know, some of us are past it. Like I put myself into that bracket because I mean you're still doing fabulous, but what are you now? 38?
Yeah, 38.
Yeah, these young guys, they're hungry. They want it so much, and they're just getting better and better and better. And it's amazing to see the progress of the sport because people know the big names. You know, we know the likes of Kiliashkovsky, yourself, Thor, Eddie Hall, Brian Shaw's, Adrinas. These names have been around for a long time. But these young guys, people don't always necessarily know about them. A lot of people won't know who Novikov is. You know, the hardcore fans will know, but a lot of the people that just watch at Christmas, they'll be like, who's this guy? And there's so many great youngsters. I mean, Luke Richardson was in the final. I think he's going to be an incredible athlete in a few years.
Oh, of course, he impressed me a lot, Luke. It was the first time I see him competing. He's just turned 23 years old.
Yeah,
really strong. He made the final at least at his first
first
time in
world's strongest
Strongman.
man making the final.
It's very good result. Maybe I saw a few comments about he disappointed a few people, but hey, listen, you have to start somewhere.
Do you know? Again, with like Luke, I didn't say too much beforehand. I thought he could do well. I know how good he is, and I genuinely believe that kid is going to go all the way. But it's his 5th ever strongman competition.
Yes, it's
people seem to forget that.
This guy will have a big career as strongman for sure. His abilities are really good. He look also really focused on his event. He don't do any mistake, I think, in the competition. And in few years, it will be really hard to beat because he looks like a very complete athlete.
How did you do in your first Worlds?
I was 2008, 25 years old.
You were 25. And where did you play? Did you get to the final?
No. I came last in my group.
Okay. It just shows, like, you know, how good some of these youngsters are. I mean, Novikov, 24. I think
it's just crazy, but he's really good prepared. And also Novikov, I think, is one of the most smartest guy in sport. You know exactly what you need to do. Just like what you do during the event, it's always nothing random, you know.
Yeah.
Just wait.
No worries. Is that like the postman or something?
No, it's like one of my friends coming because I try to sell the house. Then just
okay. No problem.
Okay, let's continue.
Yeah, but he just seemed to really perform exceptionally well this time. I was very impressed with his deadlift. I think Novikov he's never been the greatest deadlifter
it's because, you know, Alexei have problem to deadlift from ground, but I know he's really good on partial deadlift. His lockout is very strong, and you know he's shorter than us a little bit, and the bar is almost already over the knees.
Yeah,
that's a really good position to pull. Then when I saw we start to lift, I said, "Oh shit." I think I have to fight with Jerry and Adam. And on 509, I think it was maximum for Bishop.
Yeah.
Also very hard for Jerry. My lift, I think, was easier. But when they jump over 60 pounds more, and Alexei looked like nothing on 509, I thought maybe he can pull. And for me, nothing moved. Yeah. And Alexei pulled the record. And I think it's not 100% effort.
Wow. It looked like he had more in him.
Yeah, it's why I said you have more in him for sure. Yeah.
Do you reckon he's going to go on and win multiple World's Strongest Man titles?
Yeah, but you know, I talk with Zydrunas a lot in the airport, but I agree with him also. I think maybe new champion come maybe a different guy
each year.
Each year, because it's so close now.
I think right now
the events change also.
Yeah, we don't seem to have any dominant performers right now. Not guy like, I think Thor's probably the last really dominant guy who won. You know, he wins the Arnolds, he wins Worlds, he wins World Ultimate Strongman, etc. You know, and then there was that battle. Obviously, you had like Brian and Brian and Thor and Brian and Zydrunas. Eddie Hall came in there and got a title. But now it just seems to be like each year we're going to have a different champion.
Yeah, it's what I think. And, you know, those young guys push really hard also. They are so quick, so fast. You know, if we think about the past when I was 25, 26 years old, you know, I'm happy to have this level now because the level is much more different. Yeah. I have no chance at 25 against those guys, for sure.
Yeah, well, you've kept getting better all the time.
But, you know, I was really stronger this year. Because we can compare, because sometimes we use same equipment with same weights in World's Strongest Man, and if I compare my stone to last year, it was much easier this year for me. Then the conclusion, I'm stronger this year at 38. I think
you said you were stronger before going into it, so It's good.
Yeah, but when you not compete and you just train, it's hard to say 100% I'm better.
Sure. Yeah.
But now I'm sure.
Well, it was hard, like just sitting watching from behind. It was hard to really predict properly because I hadn't seen anyone compete this year. You don't know what kind of shape people are in. I was surprised by people's shapes. Certain people that I thought wouldn't do that well did a lot better than I thought. Some people I thought maybe would do better didn't do so well. But everyone seemed to be in shape. It was just like one little mistake could cost someone. It is interesting. I mean, how was dealing with the whole COVID situation? Because that looked kind of stressful for a lot of people.
Well, not really. We just stay in the room when we arrive on Saturday, 24 hours. Then we got tests every day, and we put the mask inside all the time. But that's it. I think the guys are just happy to compete.
Oh,
I think we are more stressed about this hurricanes coming.
Well, I was gonna bring that up. I mean, you had the COVID situation and then the hurricane situation. You're supposed to start on the one day and then it got cancelled or postponed to the following
but we
day.
missed one day rest before the final finally, but they have to find a B plan, and finally we got it inside, but we have also no information, until the competition start. We are not sure about group and events and the weight. We know the weights of the log and log ladder before going. That's it. But at the end, it's changed nothing, because the most important is it's same for everyone. Anyway, I think maybe the fans are more stressed than the athletes.
Sure. I think, especially yourself, you're a very laid back athlete anyway. You cope. I think we've spoken about it before, how you've got to be able to adapt. And I'm sort of in two minds about it, because I've just been used to it my whole career. It's just, we've come to expect it. We know we get to World's Strongest Man. You pretty much know some of the events will change, groups will change about, and you just get on with it. But when I look at it, I don't think it's right as well that it happens all the time like that. So maybe sometimes we do need a little bit more just professionalism and structure. But this year was exceptionally hard because there was so many.
Yeah, but my opinion is because about the group. They cannot make the group in front because you don't know who will be on site to compete. Example, if you put two favorites in group, example, Kielkowski and Janasha in same group, you cannot replace this guy part 2 reserve.
No, of course.
It's not fair for the group. It's why they wait.
Yeah, they have to have those top 5 seeds in different groups.
Yeah, finally, the only switch they have, it's Ivar switch to my group, to group 5, and Erwin Toots come in my group.
Yeah.
That's it. It was the only change we got finally, because Novikov go back to group 3. It was just
I bet you were happy about that.
Happy. But I think Ivar also is maybe better competitor than Erwin. But with that set of even in qualification, I think it changed nothing.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy to Ivar's make the final. I think he deserved his place. He improved a lot. It was really good also.
Yeah.
It was really good. I think the most impressive guy for me was Kevin Fairs, for sure.
Yeah, he was unbelievable.
Yeah, he was really, really good. And also, I really surprised about Jerry Pritchett.
I was surprised.
Sometimes underperformed in World's Strongest Man, maybe because he have some injury. But this year, it was the best Jerry Pritchett I ever seen in my life.
I totally agree. I thought, like yourself, Jerry's especially the last few years, he's been quite injury prone. He had a real good performance in Wembley at Giants Live, I think last year or the year before. But a lot of the time he suffered with injuries this last couple of years, but he looked in shape.
Yes, he was. He win the group at least almost easy. Yeah. And in final, he fight for the podium. If he lived the last stone, he put me out of podium and take second place. Wow. It was really, really close, and Jerry performed good in each event in final. And, for the few last year, his pressing power was not so good, but he was good in past when he did the Austrian Oak 2 reps in Arnold Classic. Not sure about the year when he came third, but now his pressing power is back. Yeah. Then Jerry is more dangerous.
His deadlifting looked good in the heat again.
Yes, he was the best of his group. I have no doubt for this. Best on deadlift and also best on the log for reps. 9 repetition.
That was impressive.
Yeah.
9 with that log is hard in what, 60 seconds?
75.
Okay, they did
75 seconds, but he did all press in strict press. Nothing.
Did you have the log or the dumbbells?
I got the log, but I
You'd
have
already
already
qualified.
win.
Yeah.
Because I won the 3 even before, then I just do 1 rep. And that's it. And I win the group quite easy. And I want to keep my power for the final. But I was really prepared for that event in qualification. And it's maybe during the 3 last year, I have to fight on last man standing to get the final. It's the only year I can take it easy.
Yeah. It's funny how it goes, like World's Strongest Man. You can, on paper, sometimes have the hardest group and it suddenly just gets easier. And then you can have what might look like an easy group and it can be really hard. I mean, it changes each year.
Yeah, it's true. It's because people try to make the contest on paper before we do.
Yeah.
But just don't panic and give your 100% on each.
That's the fun thing. I mean, I think as fans, people are always going to do that. It's just human nature. If you ever watch a football match or, tennis, whatever the sport you're into, American football, fans are always going to predict who they think is going to win and lose. Yeah. And as an athlete, you can't let that affect you. You've just got to be focused on your job and doing the best you can.
And I think we have all the best men in final. It was a brutal battle. Just Graham was out. Okay, it's bad. We are just 9 to fight. But everybody was so good. And I think it's one of the most closest final we ever have because everybody's mixing the point all the time. Every time somebody put good performance, one drop.
I think after the Hercules hold, when you won the Hercules hold, and I think yourself and Novikov were joint on points.
Yeah.
I thought you had a great chance then to go on and win.
Yeah, but the even after fucked me a little bit, but it's what I said. But anyway, it was really close until the end. I think for the fans, it's
going to be fun to watch.
Interesting to watch.
Yeah,
because okay, it's fun. You see Marius like in 2007 winning the contest by 20 points lead. He really dominates this contest, but you have absolutely no challenge until
I don't think we're going to see that I don't think we'll see that again for a while, like a dominant performance like that. People will talk about Kiliashkovsky maybe coming back next year, but these younger guys, they're just getting better all the time as well. There's no guarantee.
But nothing is guaranteed because, example, this year, what position can take Mateusz in deadlift? Last.
Yeah.
Then again, you have to work for 10 points more, and you can win many events, but still, it's just 10 points possible.
Yeah.
Then you have to fight, and also I read a lot of comments about World's Strongest Man contest is like CrossFit contest now.
That makes me laugh.
Of course, but the people still don't watch the contest.
No,
they have no idea what we did.
I love
nothing is about CrossFit there.
People kept saying it's like CrossFit, and Alexei's just fast, and then he won the deadlift. What do you say then?
Deadlift for max is not CrossFit even, and Alexei win it. I think a lot of people think it was lighter because Alexei was very fast, but it's not just about speed. We have many static events.
How heavy was the yoke? It was like 1,100 pounds? Yeah.
1,000 pounds.
Okay.
It was not an easy yoke because, you have like 2 motorbike on side and 1 motorbike on the back. Then the yoke going backward.
Oh, okay. So 2 on the side, 1 on the back.
Yeah. Then you have to push really hard in the yoke to keep the balance. And I think it's why Graham broke his bicep on that even. Maybe he pushed too hard, or maybe he came unbalanced and tried to compensate with the arms. But it was not an easy yoke.
No.
But everybody was really fast.
I know from, and it's this year I've just been a fan watching, but I know from experience at World's Strongest Man, what it says on paper isn't always how hard it actually is.
Yeah.
You can do like a 1,000-pound yoke at home with perfect conditions, and it can feel okay. You do it in a competition with different, environment. It can be totally different. It's not until you're all in the same contest, and then the best guy deserves to win.
Yeah, it's very different. But everybody was so quick. You have to carry an anvil until the tire for, I think, 10 meters. Then the yoke was 15 meters. And you cannot go under the yoke. You have to go by the front because you have two bikes. It's not possible to enter. And the best time was 22 seconds.
Yeah.
Then, okay, you can maybe do at home, but do it that fast is a big difference.
And just adapting to the different kit as well. And that's something with Strongman. Just, you know, your log might be slightly different. The yoke might be slightly different. All these bits of kit, they just feel a little bit different. And I know, I mean, talking to the wrong person, you've got so much experience competing in probably nearly thousands of competitions now.
No, not 1,000. I think around 250.
Okay, I'm trying to just for the crowd make it sound more impressive for the guys watching. But yeah, it's still a lot of competitions. You've got that experience, and I'm so glad that you got on the podium. You know, I did pick you out to win beforehand. Not putting any pressure on you, but
I feel more pressure this year.
I'm sorry. I know. Usually you can kind of like slide in. No one talks about JF, and I thought I'd try and put some pressure on you to get up there. But you got another step up. You're third place this year. Are you going to keep going and try and come second and first?
No, you know, if I'm not injured, I'm thinking it's possible now. You know, my ultimate goal was to put my feet on the podium of World's Strongest Man one time in my life.
Yeah.
But now I see the possibility. Then the win is possible for me also, depending what event we have and how I can be in good shape also.
I guess the one thing you look at the guys that you competed against, you've beaten all of them in the past.
Yeah, of course.
And
you know, in my opinion, it's because, okay, people talk about big names on paper, but everybody, in my opinion, everybody is beatable on certain day.
Yeah.
Then you never know what happened in Strongman.
And like you said, and I've said it many times, it's different events.
Yes.
It makes a big difference.
Yes, of course, depending what setup we have. But World's Strongest Man have different events every year, but still, since 5 years, I'm in top 5. Then why is not possible? And it's closer and closer to first place. Then we'll see what happens next year.
So what's next for you then? You have a little bit of a break?
No, I will compete in Brian Shaw competition in 1 month.
Cool.
And I get also an invitation to replace, I think, Mateus for this competition, Força Bruta in Brazil in February.
So no rest for you?
Not now. No, I'm in good shape. It's time to compete. You know, I train since 8 months now, and no contest. I'm ready. I will go.
Are you training today, or are you going to have the day off?
I came to the gym because I have a lot of job to do it here, and but I still not lifting nothing. But I plan to do something tomorrow.
Good man. Get back
maybe
and get lifting.
Maybe a little training, and at least I lose almost 20 pounds. In this contest. It was not easy.
Just since you've been in Florida?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, when I leave Canada last Saturday, like 12 days ago, I was exactly 353 pounds. And I go to the gym like a few hours before I talk to you now. I was 330.
Wow. That's hell of a drop.
Yeah, it's a big drop. You know, it's hard to compete outside in hot weather. Yeah. We cannot eat like 7 meals like we do it at home, and we give the maximum.
So how many times, just for interest of fans, how many times were you eating a day at Worlds?
3.
Yeah,
it's 3 meals: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's it. And this year we cannot go outside.
Yeah.
Last year we go to restaurant many times, but this year we are confined in hotel. But we have enough food, yes. But during the contest, it's hard also to eat like this.
Especially like a 4-day contest. I mean, I know you're used to competing back to back. In Canada, you do a lot of multiple day competitions anyway, I think, don't you? But it's hard. I think 1 day is not so bad. You can do 1 day and your body can cope with it.
Yeah, but 4 days.
4 days in a row. You guys must have been. You guys must have been flattered.
Yes, true. You have to fly it also.
Yeah.
You know, then and almost all restaurants and airport are closed now. Then you can just eat sandwich and drink water. That's it. But the people have to know how it's hard to compete in World's Strongest Man. But, you know, losing 20 pounds of muscle like this is some kind of sort you can prove it's not so easy.
Oh, definitely. Well, you've done fantastically well. Before I let you go, I'm going to ask a lot of guys this. If you could change one thing about World's Strongest Man, what would it be?
About from an athlete, uh, I think it was, for me, it was perfect. I have nothing. Maybe this year it was a little bit special, because it's what I'm really happy from the organizer. They work really hard to put this in place because
Yeah,
it's much harder with the pandemic situation. Also, this hurricane coming.
sure.
But everybody worked hard to put in place. I'm just happy the contest happened.
I think there was a lot of talk that it might not
That's
happen
it.
at all this year.
That's it. But from the fan want to watch the contest live.
Yeah.
That's the problem. But also they have to understand the World's Strongest Man is a TV show produced for the TV by the TV.
Yeah.
Then it's why it's different. But at least I know the fans are not happy about that because they can watch live. But anyway, when the broadcast will come in Christmas time, everybody will watch anyway.
I'll definitely be watching. So,
Yeah.
even though, just as a fan, like take the fact that I was a competitor out, I'll definitely be watching at Christmas time.
Yes, of course. And anyway, who will want to buy and watch a streaming during 4 days long, starting 8 in the morning, finishing 7 p.m.?
I know. I think the fact is that the structure needs to change a little, but there's so many. It's just not an easy fix. There's not something you can just say, right, you need to do this, because there's so many variables and so many. Like you said, there's TV contracts that they have to adhere to.
Yeah.
There's a number of factors.
But in my opinion, if you want to really have the World's Strongest Man of all group, I think the 25 men must have a chance to compete until the end. Then 25 together.
That's what I want to see. And I didn't want to influence you at all in that answer, because every athlete has their own views and different views, and some might like that there's only a few events, because it does make it a bit easier for there to be surprises when there's only, say, 6 events. But I think over like 20, like there was a lot of good guys, say on the log press, that were knocked out early on, or different events. And I like you say there, I think it doesn't even have to be 25, maybe 20 guys or 16 guys, whatever it is. If they can afford to do 25 guys, then great. That would be really interesting to see across 8, 10 events,
10.
who comes out on top. 10 events.
10 events, I think it will be the best. It was our formula for Fortissimus contest for next year. And with 10 events, it's hard to say, but you have to be very complete.
Very.
Then it may be a different result at the end if we did the contest like this. But, it's not the format of the World's Strongest Man, and who I am to change this. It's what
Sure,
I
it's just an interesting conversation to have. It's sometimes I look at strongman like tennis, because I'm a tennis fan, and then you have like different types of courts for tennis. You have like the hard court, the grass courts, and people are better at certain types of competitions. So maybe it's fun having the World's Strongest Man with the groups, and then having like a Fortissimus or an Arnold's, or things that do things slightly different. And then for me, the real great guys are the guys that can win everything.
Yeah.
That's why the guys like Zadrunas, the guys like Brian Shaw, Thor, they deserve that status as like, greatest of all time type athletes. But anyway, that's for a different day, my friend. You did absolutely brilliant this year. Thank you for coming on and chatting to us. Really appreciate it. And I'll hopefully see you maybe some point next year.
Thank you, Laurence.
Take care, Jeff. I'll speak to you soon.
Thanks.
While you're here, guys, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my awesome strength content.